Well, Firestone Theater's been around as long as the school's been here, so that's 50-some years.
Firestone Theater is great because you get to kind of experience a segue into professional theater.
Any job that's in the theater a student can do, whether it's ushering or being an actor, stage managing, designing the lights, designing the audio, painting sets. Yeah, we're all still students and we're all still learning, and we all just love theater, so we just kind of have a fun time as we're doing it.
We have 7 plays in our season this year. After the Blast is the second play of our season. After the Blast is this amazing play. It's set in a post-apocalyptic world where people live underground. People in the play are third generation. They have never seen the daylight, have never seen open sky. They've only lived underground in a highly controlled environment in society. The main characters are a man and a wife who are trying to have a baby, but they're being stymied in that attempt by the government.
Essentially, in the society that they live in underground, since there's been a nuclear apocalypse that's wiped out everything above the surface, they don't have infinite resources. So if you're going to have a child and you're going to have a human being that's going to consume more resources, you have to pass a test and they have to make sure you're going to be a good parent to this child. So that's why it's so strict.
Since the mother is diagnosed with depression, she keeps failing these tests. So her husband has found a robot that will help her with companionship and kind of trying to cure her depression so she can pass this test.
I designed the robot that you'll see on stage in After the Blast. Originally, she's standoffish about the robot, but then it really does fill its purpose as a companion for her later on.
At first, I was all freaked out about acting with a robot, and once they brought Artie in, I got to see a lot of the process since I'm really good friends with the person, Ethan Courtney, who created the robot. I was worried about just not having some reactions to play off, but once he came in and he had those piercing blue eyes of his, it was just like I was talking to another person. And hearing the voice come out of the robot, it suddenly just clicked. Like I felt like I was looking at my dog in a way. So I think it's really interesting how Anna bonds to this robot because she's so anti-simming, she's anti this whole new world she's seeing. But I think that there's somewhere in her heart that connects to this robot. And I think part of that has to do with where her and Oliver's relationship is in the moment. And I feel like this is the first thing she's had in her life in a long time that is listening to her without trying to fix her.
After the Blast is just a tremendous play. It has an awful lot to say about the human condition. So it's a play about where all of our realities have been stripped away, and so how do we remain human, and how do we make a connection and keep a connection with other humans when everything around us is totally artificial.
Usually when we do plays, they often reside in our time period or even far back, but this takes place in the future, and not only that, but the near future, which is why it's so important, because right now we live in a time where there's climate change and forests on fire, and the earth is screaming for help, and in this play, the earth has already screamed for help and died out, and I think that people really need to see what could happen to our world if we don't take care of it.